Hey everyone, welcome back. And in today's video, we're gonna, talk about like creating components and React code using existing designs. Also, we'll be setting some primary and secondary colors. And as you can see, we have code where we are using things duplicate like this button. So we'll be reducing that duplicacy. So we'll be setting up some kind of functionality where we can just use a single button and set the classes according to what the type and size we are using. So let's see how it goes. And for today, I have this for you. So I found out like I have this particular design where basically we can set it as a base to design our buttons and components. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pick things from this particular design. Like there is a button, as you can see there are two buttons. This can be a secondary button, this can be a primary button. So we can design exactly what they are looking, what they are here. So we'll create other components as well. It's a huge uh, Figma design. So we'll be uh, thinking like how we can design, and it's gonna like how we can design from the Figma itself, how we can develop components, and how we can develop things from Figma. So it's gonna help you in future as well, where you will be having some Figma or PSD designs and you want to convert them into a functional code. So we'll start from here. Like we were here where we created a button component where we had couple of props. So one of them, like title, was required. As you can see, there are no question mark there at the end of the title. But for optional props properties, we add question mark at the end. So it would be optional, like type and size, but title would be required for this particular component. So as you can see, we created these buttons where we have title, and in another button we have type as well. So since type is optional, so it is not throwing any error like type should be there or not. So let's redesign. First of all, let's open this. I'll go to the folder where we have the code. This was the folder, and I'm gonna run again npm run dev. So this is the command to start our application. So let's see. Great. These were the buttons. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna name them as primary and secondary, and we're gonna follow this particular design, and we'll try to create as it is, like how they are looking here, these components. So we'll be picking component from this whole design. Let's suppose there is a button here, there's a button here as well, there is another button as follow, there's a button with icon. So these would be a different type, like icon button with some variety, like primary button and secondary button. All right. And I want to introduce you Tabler. Tabler is open source, library of icons and templates. So I'm gonna use this Tabler where we'll be using these icons in our project, in this project. So let's start and try to uh, create this particular button. Try to create these primary and secondary buttons, and let's see how it goes. So we have this button. We created couple of types like outline and fill. Let's remove them for now, or we can also comment them out. And let's try to use type as primary and secondary. Okay, so primary and secondary, these would be the types. And for this outline, primary, you can say, and other would be secondary. Okay, so here we have to change this type as well. So I'll say secondary here. So now you'll see there is we have two buttons here, but if I say primary, then this would be like this. We'll change the design. We'll just follow this particular Figma file so that we have clear understanding what we're gonna design and how to design it using Tailwind itself. All right, so let's try to create this particular button. We're gonna use same colors. So again, in Tailwind CSS we have facility to define our primary, secondary, or whatever name we want to give to them, so we can give them. Let's open this tailwind.config.js. Earlier I said we don't have to worry about it, but let's try to dig into these things and try to extend our understanding. So if we go to tailwind.config.js, we have this extend. So it should be under theme and then extend. Then what we can do, we can define colors. Under colors, what I'm gonna do, I'll say primary or primary, and then what I'm gonna use this as primary color. So this would be our primary color. I'll say secondary, and this would be our secondary color. Okay, for now I'm gonna use these colors, and let's do it. So I'll go to button. So we have removed sizes. We just have title and type here in the button component. So I will not say this kind of thing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create let's suppose a state. We're gonna create a constant, or we'll say just like this. So we'll let uh, classes equals to this. So I have created this local variable, classes equals to blank. So I'm gonna write switch statement where we'll be passing the type. Okay, and then we'll say case as primary, then classes would be this. So whatever class we have there in the primary, we'll copy all and we'll paste it out like this. And another case would be like case and secondary. Okay, so the classes, okay, classes would be equals to whatever classes we have in this. Okay, I think I have to switch that. This would be primary, this gonna be secondary. Okay, so we have initialized these classes. Now we don't have to use these if else statement. We can just uh, remove everything, and now we just have a button. So it should be under return statement. Okay, cool. So let's see, they both are looking same because we just changed everything. So for primary, we're gonna use background as blue. So instead of saying blue, let me give it to you. Let me change this to class name, classes. Okay, so we have created a variable classes. Initially it is blank, and now using switch statement we just checked what type of button it should be. So if it is primary, then it these would be the classes, these would be value for these classes. If it is secondary, then these would be the classes. We'll also create default, and this gonna be classes equals to same. So it would be same as primary. So default would be primary, and yes. Okay, what's saying remove useless and variable classes. Okay, I'm gonna break this. Okay, so it's gonna break. What's saying? Say case code block is the same as the block for the case on line 9 on location. Okay, it's saying either we can just say primary because we are using duplicate statement. So what we did initially, the secondary case would be there, and for primary and default the classes would be same. So we have created this, and now see, since we haven't provided any if I can just remove it. So if I remove type, the both buttons are same because there is no type defined. If I say type equals to secondary, now we will see we have outline button and the fill button. So we reduce our code, we just comparing our type and creating classes. So yeah, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna design it as it is like this. So we have primary color, we already defined our primary color here in tailwind.config.js. So it helps us to use this particular color in every property that we want. So let's try to change it. So here we have used border blue with 600 value. So what we can do, we can use border and then primary. So if we just say border primary, then the primary color would be there. And however, also for bg blue background, we can just say bg primary. Okay, so not this. Is there any problem with this? Let me check. It's good. I think it should work. We have no error here. Border is primary, bg is primary, and text is white for the primary buttons. But here bg primary, we don't have. Okay, background color is, oh, so we did some, we haven't added hash here. Okay, so now you can see primary color is same as what we have in Figma. So it's there, and this is also there. We have primary colors, we have no opacity. Great. So for everything for now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna just use this particular color. So border primary, and on hover we're gonna say border primary, and again for hover we're gonna say bg primary. Okay, so let's try it out. Bg primary by 10, so it's like 30. Okay, maybe 80. Yeah, it's good. So what we did, let me explain that. Since we have created a primary and secondary classes, secondary colors with the name primary and secondary. So let's suppose we want to add color to the background, so we just have to say bg primary. If we want to change some background or border color, we gonna say border primary. So earlier what we are writing, we were just saying bg blue with some values, right? So here we have created our custom name for the colors. So primary would be this and secondary would be this. Okay, now we have primary button. Let's zoom it little bit, and maybe we can just zoom it like this, and now we can compare if how it should look like. So now it's little different because we have border over here, so we need to remove the border. So we'll just remove the border from our primary, so pg primary we need to remove border too. Okay, so border is removed, so we are good in shape. Whatever we have, so we have 12 versus 20, and here we have p2 as p2 and px maybe x6. So this is almost same and it's looking good, right? And for secondary, this gonna be secondary, so we have to use our secondary color, uh, and primary color is okay, and we're gonna say it like this, offer a deal or something. So let's change the text for primary, offer a deal. Yeah, so now you can see they are same. So this is how we create things from Figma. So for secondary, let's see, we already copied this particular background color. So we're gonna change the design of this particular button. So it should be like for secondary border would be, there would be no border because here we don't have any border. It would be same as this. So we're gonna say bg secondary, and text would be different. Let's see. So bg secondary, and there should be no border, so let's remove the border. Okay, there is no border now. And let's also change the hover state. So there is no hover state is here, there is no hover state. For hover state we will just say bg secondary 80. Great. Okay, we'll make it little dark. bg secondary, maybe secondary 800. Okay, let's create another color like secondary with little dark. Just a moment. So we have, let me pick a different color or maybe little darker. So I'll make it little dark. Yeah, I think this would be good. So I'm gonna say secondary, dark secondary, and I'm gonna paste this particular color so that we can show a hover state. All right, so let's copy this, and for this hover state, for the secondary, we just gonna say dark secondary. Okay, so you'll see the difference now. This is little dark. Okay, and we also need to change the text color, otherwise it's not gonna look good. So again, for hover, as you said, for hover state we just have to write hover, and then whatever class we want to add. So on hover, text white should be added. So now you can see it's looking pretty good. We have two buttons here. All right, so let's change this thing a little bit. Let's try to extend this. Now we have two type of components as a button. So this is primary, this is secondary. So I'll just name it as primary and secondary. I'm gonna change the name primary, and this for secondary, so that we have understanding what we are understanding, like what we are calling them. So it's a primary button, it's a secondary button. All right, now what else we can add into the list? So I'm thinking to add icon button. So first I think just button with icon like this, or any like this setting, like button. Okay, so we're gonna create a button where there would be no text, it just be the icon. So we had this. Okay, what happened? So we have this button. Now I'm gonna create another base component which would be icon button. I'm going to say icon, then button. I would be capital, button would be this tsx. So for any component, we just have to create a file, and we'll say const icon button. And initially, we don't need to provide any prop. We'll just try to see what it's gonna look like. So I'll say button, and I'll add a name as icon and export it. So we have to export this particular component in order to like allow other components to use it. So now we have created a component. Creating a component is as simple as adding these four lines. Like we have to name it like this. So it's a functional component. We'll talk about like there would be some class component, but this is functional component. There is no much difference except for this state and their life cycle. We'll talk about it later. So now we have created another component which is icon button, and we exported it so that we can use it in other files. Now let's go to our app.tsx where we are adding everything. So we're gonna create another section like this, and so you must be wonder if you all, if you don't know about like how to copy and paste fast there in this VS Code. So you just have to select those lines and just press Alt and Shift and then down arrow key. Once you do down arrow key, there would be multiple copies of it. So it's a way to fasten your programming. We have created this, and I'm gonna say icon buttons. Okay, so I'll remove these and I'll just add icon button here. Okay, so first we have to import it like this. Okay, let me remove it first. So we need to say import, then write a name icon button, hit enter, it will add it already. So now you can see we have this particular button over here, and for every section let's add some maybe padding as 3, so, and some bg as secondary. So this would be like this, and 3, so they keep some spacing. Okay, I think uh, padding is enough. So we are not creating components, we are adding styling to this particular main page where we'll be showing all the components, right? So let's make it little good. We are okay, gap was 3. So for each section we're gonna say padding 5, so there will be some paddings, and bg secondary border would be like border, there will be no border, but we'll make it rounded. So as you know, rounded class is for adding border radius. So we are adding border radius here, and rounded LG would be good. So SMLG, they provide how much radius we want to add, and what's the number. You can also add static one like rounded and this like 10 pixel. So it will add 10 pixel Eh, just a moment. It will add 10 pixel to this. Okay, so you will see border 10 pixel because we have added uh, direct value to it. So if we don't want, we want to use existing class. So there are a couple of classes like Excel, LG2 Excel and all. So we can use them. So I'm saying it to Excel every time. So it would be to Excel. Let's do the same for this one as well. So we have this, and between them, I'm gonna add once HR for horizontal row with some my like margin with top and bottom margin. So my5. So yeah, now they are separated, and we have clear this MB5 so that we have little more spacing. Okay, now it's looking pretty good. So we have different sections in our main page where we'll be showing our all our components. Okay, and I think we should remove the background, otherwise it won't be good. Just add a border. It would be cool. Yeah, it is. Just remove background and say border. It will add 1 pixel border around it. So now it's good because we can now clearly see the color of our components like this button and this primary button and this secondary button. We can also see there is another button, but there is no styling for that. We're gonna add some styling, but before that, I'm gonna add this tabular icon. So tabular icons so that we can create icon buttons. So I'm gonna just uh, copy this and run in our terminal. So it would be npm install tabular react icon. So it will install all the icons into our application and then we can use it. So the documentation says like how to use. So we just have to import it and we can directly use it. So let's try to import one icon. Let's find out maybe this one, the first one. The name is icon AB2. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna basically uh, add under this icon button, we'll just add like icon, but okay, icon AB2. That was it. Okay, this is added. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's looking good, but as I said, we have to make it like this, like any other component, any other button with icon. So I'm gonna find out a button with just icon. What it should be, we can okay, let's pick this hamburger icon, hamburger button. So it's black in color. We can use primary color but with hamburger menu. So I'm gonna say icon hamburger. Let's find out what would be the name. So hamburger, is there any color? Yeah, we have menu 2. Okay, the icon menu 2. So we can say icon menu 2. Great. So let's see. Good. Because we just have to give it you know a background color for now. So I'll add the background color as class name bg secondary. Okay, so we have this. We have to add padding. So let's see how much padding we have there. So it's saying it have 17 at the top and bottom and 14 at the left and right. So how we can do that? We can say px like left and right, it is 14. So for 14, let's see what it should be. I think we can add px4, and I think we can just add P4 so that we have a square button around us. Great. So we have this particular button. Let's add the same hover state that we added here in the secondary button. So we can again use hover, and now we can just add like BG dark secondary. Okay, let's see. Good. We just have to change the color of this. So I think text for hover. Let's try to add text primary. Yeah, it will change. Okay, so for hover I'm gonna say text white. Okay, now it's good, it's looking good. We just have to use same border, like whatever border we like whatever radius we are using in these buttons. So I'm gonna add again radius, so I'll say rounded and LG. So we are using rounded LG everywhere, so we'll we keep using it. It's rounded LG, yes, so that we can make some consistency around our component library. So great, we have created button, we have created icon button. Okay, and let's try to create some styling for text area maybe, or this icon button, this type of button. I think there should be a variety of this type of button as well, where see, we have button, we have just icon button, we need a button where we can add icon and the text both. So we're gonna call it I think we can just make it, we can extend this icon button so that we can also have text in it. So in previous button, what we did, we created this title. It was not optional at that moment, but at this time we're gonna make it optional, so that it can be either just icon button or icon with text and button. Okay, so let's try to create props. So first, what we need to do, we need to create an interface, icon button props, and here we'll say title. Okay, title, and it would be string. Okay, so I'm gonna pass it to this like title, and this would be the type of props. Okay, we haven't used title, so we're gonna use it here. I'm gonna create a span with this title and this. Okay, we use it, but we have to make it optional. Okay, so again we need to add condition. So this would be conditional rendering. Once we don't want something to be rendered, uh, so like if someone doesn't add title, so we don't want a necessary span over here. So what we can do, we can start this and then say title and end, and then just pass it here. So it's gonna be like, if we have title, then this would be rendered, otherwise it will not render anything. So as you can see right now, there is no change in the UI because we haven't provided anything to this. But if we provide it, like this is the first icon button, if I say title for another, and I'm gonna say like this, for Figma we have add task. Okay, so I'm gonna add task here. So let's show how it looks. It's not looking good. Let's correct the UI for this particular thing. So what we need to do, we need to make it inline so that it doesn't wrap when we have text over here. So how we can do that, we can again use flex layout. Just add flex, it will be in the same, but there is no I would say there is no spacing between both of these, so we can add gap 2 or 3. So 2 is good. Now it's looking good. But for this one, like for this icon button, we can't just have P4 because it's not looking good, because the padding around this button is same. But for now we can keep it as it is, or we can just say px4 and py3. So it would be more like of a cube instead of just square. Okay, so we have this. Now what we need to do, so we have to provide some variety of icons. Right now we don't have any variety in icons. We have to add it here. So how we can provide that? We can just create another prop with icon, and it would be maybe jsx dot element. Okay, so we have to, or we can add couple of names. For now let's add couple of names here. Let's suppose menu 2. Okay, or maybe add like couple of more. So plus would be something. I'm gonna add this plus, so the name of this would be icon plus. So what I can do, I can name it like this. Let's add 2 for now. One could be, let's say, go Figma. Maybe these setting on calendar button. Okay, let's find out setting. So the one that looks cool, this is looking cool. Or we can find out another thing. Okay, let's try to use this icon setting. So the name would be setting, and another would be, okay, maybe this calendar button or the notification. All right, notification will use notification. And okay, notification. So we have a bell icon here, this one, bell ringing. I copied the name, and this would be the name. Okay, so we have couple of names over here, and these would be required because I'm not making optional, because it's not uh, uh, a base a button, it's a icon button. So icon should be required, but text should be optional. So user can add or they don't want to add. So if they don't want to add, they can just keep not to add this. Okay, so here there is no icon, so it's showing some errors. Let's add again, add a button, like let icon choose an icon, maybe equals to icon menu 2 or icon plus. I can say icon plus. This should be the, oh, we need to make it blank initially. So as we did last time, we're gonna did the same, and let's add here icon. So whatever icon there would be, I'm gonna create cases, icon menu 2, then choose an icon would be icon menu 2. Okay, choose an icon, then break, then case would be icon plus, then it would be icon plus react icon plus. Okay, then break, then case, and icon setting would be choose an icon settings. Okay, so we have icon menu 2, icon plus, icon settings, icon bell ringing. So add a break, and the case would be icon bell ringing, and chosen icon would be icon bell ringing. That's it. So we have this nice initialization. Now instead of this icon menu, just add it like this. Okay. Okay, why it is not? Oh, I haven't added like this. So it should be like this. Okay. So whatever icon you choose, this would be the uh just a moment. Okay, so we have these buttons. We have added the icon, and now let's change the icon for this. So I'll say icon equals to, so it will show the suggestions because we have used TypeScript, and we also defined what type of what kind of value this gonna be. So it's either saying bell ringing, and for this the icon would be plus, icon plus. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, we have this bell icon, we have this add task, and let's create couple of more, like uh, settings. So as I said, I can just add icon setting and say settings. So this will be settings, this is add task, this is bell icon, and we have one more button icon. So I'll say icon menu 2. Okay, and let's remove everything. So there are, now we have varieties of icons here. So this is how we create components. We have we just added these four types in icon buttons, like four type of icons, but it's not like we have to write everything. There are more ways where we can just capture the type of like the name of all the icons from the library itself, and then allow user to choose from the library. So we don't have to search and copy the name from this, but we can utilize existing interface. But for now, let's try to make it simple, so we have everything in our hand and everybody can understand like how to create things. So now you see we have two type of components. One is button, where we have just primary and secondary button, and another one is icon buttons, where we have this bell icon and icon with text, and we also try to add couple of different icons. So we have these four type of icons button here. We can also create some varieties around it, like bell icon, then along with that we can add title, uh, saying, notifications. Okay, so bell icon and same icon with this. So bell icon and notification, add task, and maybe without the text, so that we have all the varieties. So bell icon with this icon with text, and the setting with text. So settings with text. So as I said, you just have to like, since if we just want to copy a single line, we want to duplicate it, you have to press shift alt and then up or down arrow key, whatever you want. So we have setting and then text with this. Now we have this menu with title menu. So great, we have all the varieties. Let's keep them as like with text and without text. So we have all the icon button here and same icon buttons with the text itself. So that's it for today, and you I think you have now a basic understanding about how to create components. Now we created two type of components. We want to change these things little bit. so that we have different type of colors. But yeah, we have now a design where we'll be picking things from this design and we'll try to create components. So tomorrow I think we're gonna create this card component. So let's see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching, and do subscribe and add your comment if you have any comment, if you are facing any issue while doing the same thing. So do let me know. I'll definitely reply. Thank you so much. Bye bye.